Before, during, and after a crisis, communities around the world are buying and selling, and humanitarians are increasingly recognizing the importance of markets in emergency response and recovery. So what is market-based programming? Market-based programming includes any activity that works through or supports local markets. It covers all types of engagement with market systems, ranging from cash programs for emergency relief to programs that are designed to strengthen local market systems. We're going to use the Market-Based Programming Framework, the MBP framework, from the Markets in Crisis Community of Practice to help you understand different types of markets or livelihoods programming that can be done in humanitarian settings. Some of you may have heard of the M4P donut. The Market-Based Programming Framework is the same idea, but adapted to a humanitarian context. And it starts with putting people in crisis right at the center of our work. Of course, understanding supply, the availability of goods and services, or demand, people's ability to access those goods and services, is incredibly important in a humanitarian context. And most humanitarian programs are already familiar with increasing access through cash and vouchers, for example, or using local procurement to provide critical goods. But there is much more we can do to help communities recover after a crisis. Small businesses are at the heart of communities, and they themselves may be impacted by a shock. Farmers sell their goods in markets, and other market actors buy and sell critical goods and services such as water, seeds, or household items. Market support activities help strengthen businesses during difficult periods and reestablish supply chains after a crisis. By supporting businesses, we help to make sure that the goods and services people need are available in their communities, and we help create employment. For example, after a shock, if people have received vouchers or cash to buy food or shelter items, vendors in the same markets might be supported to learn how to make digital payments or receive cash grants for restocking after a disaster. But in many countries, markets don't work well in normal times. Sometimes youth or women are unable to find work. Sometimes goods are unnecessarily expensive due to poor infrastructure or policies. Market systems change includes activities that help to ensure that market systems are transparent and provide what is needed at a fair price, not for a few months, but for the long term. This happens as a result of simple activities, such as training in new practices or introducing a new service provider to an area. For example, we might help a business introduce new products to the market, such as solar charging kiosks, or support women to access financial services. These types of activities can help create long-lasting market systems change. The market-based programming framework also helps us consider issues like policies and norms that may affect the market environment. For example, taxes, informal or formal, can affect how a market operates. Infrastructure and lack of services such as water, electricity, and transport can also impact market recovery. We can help by improving the context in which people work and do business. There are many options for using markets, supporting their recovery, and encouraging systems change. But in many cases, it is a combination of these that will be most effective. The Markets in Crisis Community of Practice encourages humanitarian actors to program in a way that is at a minimum market aware. Using the market-based programming framework helps us to identify the different types of activities for emergency response and recovery, and helps us consider a broader range of activities to support people in crisis.